Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Zucker in New York, getting you set for an awesome afternoon on CBS Sports. At the top of the hour, the Big 12's best battle it out as third-ranked Kansas rolls into Waco to take on the fourth-ranked Baylor Bears. After hoops, the world's best golfers, including last week's winner Jordan Spieth, tee it up at the Genesis Open at the Riviera Country Club. But we begin our day with Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. Too much energy now, Baylor. Bears have led the last three meetings with Kansas at the half, but they all ended in a loss. They've lost 9 in a row to Kansas, in fact, but they have home court today to try to stay alive for that Big 12 crown. We welcome you to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, with you for the next 30 minutes, along with Wally Zerbiak and Seth Davis. And what a game we have coming up. Baylor coming off a road loss to Texas Tech, but still projecting as an NCAA tournament 1 seed. Kansas also projecting as a 1 seed, coming off that just such a memorable, unforgettable comeback over West Virginia.
What a game. And that's what Bill Self does. He wins close games. He's got clutch gene players that make all the big plays down the stretch. West Virginia was up 14 points with 3 minutes to go. They were dominating the game at Phog. The fans even left the Phog. You should not do that, Kansas fans. They never lose 2 in a row. Then Kansas out-pressed Virginia. Won the turnover battle by 6. Devontae Graham caught fire. He made 4 threes and had 14 points in the last 3 minutes and overtime. When they got their big 3 going and Devontae Graham is making shots, Kansas is tough to beat, and that's why they're going to beat Baylor today.
Ooh. Feels like it was only a week ago that Baylor was projected as a #1 seed on that. Here they've lost now 3 of the last 5. They're getting junior guard Al Freeman back today. He was suspended for the last 3 games. And the biggest difference, I think, for Baylor has to be at the free throw line. And Allen Fieldhouse, when Kansas beat them, they outshot them from the line 27-6 in free throw attempts. Today's game is not, in fact, in Allen Fieldhouse. I think Jonathan Motley's going to have a big game inside. And I hate to disagree with Wally, but I think Baylor's going to win the game.
14-1 at home, and they still project as a 1 seed for now. And let's have a look at how things are shaping up in the Big 12, Seth. Just like we say almost every year around this time, Kansas in position.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kansas is going to win its 13th consecutive Big 12 conference championship, one of the great streaks in all of sports.
There you go. Up on Baylor, and of course West Virginia slipping further back because of the loss to Kansas on Monday. And a Kansas win today really would all but shore up that 13th consecutive regular season title for the Jayhawks and would tie them with the legendary UCLA dynasty that won 13 straight, Wally.
They're going to do it again, that 2-game lead and the ability to pull out those close games. They're 5-1 in their last 6, and they've been decided by a combined 22 points. This team gets it done when they need to in crunch time.
And obviously, as we saw Monday, they never stop. And let's talk about some of the players with Kansas and Baylor positioned at the top of the standings. We can trace so much of their success to a pair of Player of the Year candidates right here, Seth.
Frank Mason is really one of my favorite players in college basketball in several years. Here's a guy who in high school as a senior originally committed to Towson University, was a 33% three-point shooter as a freshman, now making 51% from behind the arc. And what can you say about Jonathan Motley? Again, under-recruited from Houston, comes in. He gives Baylor so much of their identity. He only had 2 points in the second half when they lost at Kansas, and he didn't score a lot when they lost at Texas Tech. You got to ride your horse, and Baylor has got to feed Motley until he burps today if they're going to win this game.
It just burps.
Just burps.
The Motley crew. And Mason and Motley certainly deserving Player of the Year candidates, but Jayhawks freshman sensation Josh Jackson has turned it up, even outplaying those two lately, Wally.
Yeah, you see over 20 in his last 7 games. Listen, Frank Mason might be the National Player of the Year, but in my opinion, Josh Jackson is the best player on this Kansas team. So versatile, so athletic. The questions I had coming in was, can he shoot from the outside? He's answered those questions lately. Mid-range, 3-point shooting. He's been tremendous. The ability to play multiple positions, the athleticism, the ability to defend. I don't think Baylor has anyone to match up with him, but he's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, had 23 and 10 in their first meeting. And as the teams prepared for this epic rematch, both head coaches reflected on the Jayhawks streak, their Player of the Year candidates, and the first meeting won by Kansas 73-68.
we had a chance to win down the stretch. If you give yourself a chance to win on the road against a top 10 team, I think most coaches would like that position going into a game.
It was a 2-possession game. I think it ended up being a 5-point game. It was probably closer than a 5-point game. And I'll be honest, I thought we played really well. I was really proud of our guys after the game, and I actually thought they played very well. I thought it was a big boy game.
KU takes down number 2.
And we've never won a Big 12 championship, so what they've done is remarkable. Someone's going to break the streak, just like every other team in conference. We want to be that team.
In 3 of the times that we won it, we lost all 5 starters. So we've been really lucky and fortunate that the years that we need to replace everybody, we had guys in place. The reality of it is, as you get into it, I could really care less about the streak. I just want this team to be as good as it can be. But I think the players carry around that expectation, and they've handled it really well.
Same group, same group. Go one more. Go one more. Get it to
I want our guys to go out and play free, play with a purpose, and don't change how we've been playing. You know, we don't always play well, but we're usually in attack mode, and we need to certainly be that way even when we're playing away from home.
See both!
You would think winning would certainly give you an adrenaline boost moving forward. You look at Baylor and you think they got the balance, the big and the little. You know, the point guard is a stud. He hurt us bad the first time. Their 4-man, obviously, he's an All-American type player. You know, you got to find a way to not let those 2 guys have big nights.
Here's Jonathan Motley, someone that wasn't ranked in the top 100, someone that's gotten better each and every year, and because of that, now he's one of the best in college basketball.
I'll say this about Frank. He is probably one of the toughest competitors college basketball has this year, and certainly one of the most clutch competitors.
They've beaten us once, so we have to beat them to even that up, and it's a home game, which is even that much more important. There are no off nights. If you don't play well, you don't even give yourself a chance to be in the game, and if you play well, now it probably comes down to the last 30 seconds. If they beat us, and they beat us playing our game, we can live with that.
And you can check out more from those interviews on CBSSports.com. No, if they beat us, Baylor's got to win this, feel better about themselves.
Well, they certainly need to get their mojo back. And it's kind of an interesting team because, you know, in the past, Scott Drew's played a lot of zone defense, mostly because his man-to-man wasn't any good. This team plays almost exactly 50% man and 50% zone, and they're good either way, so he has that option. They're 6th overall in the country in defensive efficiency. I think that's a winning formula for a home game for a team that really kind of desperately needs a good win.
The Baylor's team that's lost 3 out of 5. On paper, I agree. It looks like they should hurt Kansas, but on paper is not what wins games. The players are what win games on that court, and the way Kansas finds a way to win those close games, I don't think they care about the environment. Home, road, they're going to get this win today at Baylor.
Yeah, no fog lights required, though, for this one. When we come back, it is time for our full court press. Will the Dukies end up matching their preseason hype? And is Washington's Markelle Fultz the best player in the nation? The guys are on the clock next. Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. And by Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
Some of the biggest names in the sport are battling for the title at historic Riviera. It's the Genesis Open, later today on CBS.
Kansas's Frank Mason III leads the Big 12 in scoring at just over 20 points per game. A big reason why is his outside shooting. The senior guard hits on over 50% of his shots from behind the arc, by far the best mark in the conference. And speaking of three-pointers, join the NABC and the American Cancer Society in the Coaches vs. Cancer 3-Point Challenge by pledging a donation for every three-pointer your team makes this month. As you can see, Amherst fans are currently leading the effort. Join your team, make a pledge, beat cancer. Pledge now at threepointchallenge.org. Different kind of challenge for these guys right now. It's called Our Full Court Press, where the guys get 30 seconds combined.
Tell him.
To answer some of the sport's most pressing questions. Telling you both. All right, let's start with Duke. Started the year ranked #1 and expectations were through the roof. After some well-chronicled injuries and absences, the Blue Devils have won 6 straight, including 3 against top 25 competition. Can this Duke squad now live up to that preseason hype, Wally?
Absolutely. Sharpshooters all over the place. In those last 6 games, they've shot 44% from the three-point line and 84% from the line. You stop stop one of the big three, someone else will step up. Tatum had 28 on 6 for 7 from the three-point line. Duke is hitting their stride at the right time.
As far as living up to the preseason hype, I'm going to say no. They were the overwhelming, unanimous choice to be #1. There's not going to be a prohibitive favorite going into the tournament. Emil Jefferson still isn't totally healthy. Grayson Allen still has a little bit of a bulky ankle. But yes, however long your short list is of national championship favorites right now, Duke is definitely on it because they're hitting their stride at the perfect time of year.
3 guys averaging at least 15, but is anybody playing better than the Gators? Nice work on the clock, by the way.
Got it.
Florida on Tuesday won its 7th straight game, the longest winning streak among major conference teams. During the run, the Gators have an average margin of victory of 24 points, which includes a 22-point beatdown of rival Kentucky. Is Florida now the team to beat in the SEC?
I'm not going to quite go there, Adam, for 2 reasons. First of all, losing Jonathan Agbunu is a huge loss for Florida. He's their leading rebounder and shot blocker. But more than any other player that they have, guys, gives this team their identity. This is a team built on defense, one of the best defensive teams in the country. And, hey, I'm not ready to give up on the Kentucky Wildcats. I know they're young. I know they've had some ups and downs. They're playing better now. They understand how much better they need to be. They're still the team to beat.
Talent wins late in the season. Kentucky's got a ton of talent, and now Coach Calipari has their attention and has them playing defense on that end of the floor, too. I can't say that Florida's team to beat. Still Kentucky.
All right, South Carolina, a game back. All right, meanwhile, Washington's Markelle Fultz may not win any Player of the Year awards, but he may be the nation's best baller. Fultz leads all freshmen with 23 points per game and averages just under 6 rebounds and assists. But his team is terrible. Is this hidden gem? He's a hidden gem now, Wally. Is he the best player in the nation?
No, just because you put up numbers doesn't mean you're the best player in the nation. You got to elevate the play of your team and your teammates. You got to help your team get wins in the win column. There are other guys like Lonzo Ball. Look at a guy, LeBron James. He doesn't have the best numbers in the NBA, but he's the best player because he elevates everyone else's play. So I'm going to say no on Markelle Fultz.
You can't elevate things that aren't there. I mean, his teammates aren't good. His team isn't good. He's the best player in college basketball. He's shooting 48% from the floor. This is not a volume shooter. He's a volume maker. 42% from 3, 8th in the country in scoring. He's going to be the #1 pick on the draft. Nobody talks about him. Nobody watches him. He's the best player in college basketball.
This year's Ben Simmons, right?
Got to win.
All right.
The hype.
On Thursday, NC State fired head coach Mark Gottfried, effective at season's end. He's still coaching them. Gottfried led the Wolfpack to the NCAA tournament in each of his first 4 seasons, including 2 Sweet 16s. His overall record at NC State, 122-82, but he's just 30-30 over the past 2 seasons. He's gone. Expectations in Raleigh right now, Seth, are they too high?
Every fan base has high expectations. They should be high at North Carolina State. It's a great job in Tobacco Road. The ACC, now it's not Duke in North Carolina. Let's just remember that Mike Krzyzewski was a sub-500 coach at Army when Duke hired them. If they lower their expectations as far as getting a big name hire, maybe the performance of the program will meet their expectations on the court.
I agree. No, the expectations are not too high. They have great facilities. They're in the best conference in the country. You recruit a few transcendent-type players, and you have the opportunity to make Final Fours and win national championships. That's what you want. If you get the right guy in there with the job, NC State has the ability to do that.
Clock expires on you and Coach Gottfried, who outperformed his predecessors, though. All right, the road to the Final Four continues over on CBS Sports Network. A full day of hoops is headlined by a Big East showdown with Xavier taking on Marquette at 8 Eastern. Watch all day on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Baylor's Jonathan Motley has scored in double figures in 21 of his 25 appearances this season, including 7 20-point games. The junior forward leads the Bears in scoring and rebounding and has a share of the Big 12 lead with 10 double-doubles. You are watching Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance on CBS.
At the PBR Majors, 8 seconds can mean an entire legacy. Don't miss the Iron Cowboy tonight at 10:30 on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. A look at Kansas freshman sensation Josh Jackson, who had 23 points, 10 rebounds in the first meeting against Baylor. His coach and the Bears head man gracious enough to give us 20 seconds of their time.
Hi, I'm Scott Drew, Baylor basketball head coach. I only got 20 seconds, so I'm going to talk real fast. Pretty boring person. At the office, 24/7 about basketball. If I'm not there, I'm with my family. Been blessed to be at Baylor University, and if I ever get any free time, it probably would be fishing with my dad and brother. That was 20.
There you go. That was great, Coach.
Got you done in 17.
Hi, I'm Bill Self, head basketball coach of the Kansas Jayhawks. I really don't have any hobbies. I love to play golf, not a hobby. I'm the best 13 handicap probably that anybody has ever seen. I just can never break 80. Love spending time with my family, and certainly love being outdoors. That's bad. Okay, we got to do that again.
Nah.
13 handicap, that's the perfect part.
And he wanted a mulligan.
Wally
We'll
senses a competitive opportunity.
Bring it on, bring
He's
it
going
on.
to excuse himself from the segment.
I just wanted Coach Drew to get the fish in the boat. By the way, Bill Self, congratulations. One of 14 finalists for this year's Naismith Hall of Fame class to be announced at the Final Four. It is time now for our prognosticators to look into the future in a little game we'll call What Say You? Seth, the soothsayer, say that 5 times fast. Wally, the clairvoyant, choosing the most likely to come true among these. The Big 12 getting 2 #1 seeds. Villanova winning back-to-back national championships. Notre Dame going to a 3rd straight Elite 8. Gonzaga making its first Final Four in school history. There's Big Shem. And Arizona goes to its first Final Four under Sean Miller. Wally, the clairvoyant, huh? What say you?
To me, this is obvious. They've already made 2 in a row, so they're making their 3rd. I'm going with Notre Dame making their 3rd straight Elite 8. Mike Bray's offense is so hard to prepare for, especially in the NCAA tournament when you haven't seen him. They're battle-tested in the rigors of the ACC. Bonzie Colson's so versatile, the double-double machine. They have shooters all over the place. And in a game now in college basketball that is run by offense, this team has a tremendous offense with the spread motion, pick and rolls. That's my #1. #2, I'm going with Sean Miller making his first Final Four. My old coach is long overdue. He's had heartbreak in the Elite 8. This is his year with a ton of talent, and Alonzo Trier back in the lineup to make his first Final Four. And 3rd, I'm going to go with the Zags. Zags making their first Final Four. They've made it to the Elite 8. This team is primed and ready. No, they're not battle-tested with a great competition in their conference, but they have a ton of talent at every single position and look like they could win a national title. For the record, this is going to be tough to do, Villanova. Repeating, not easy to repeat, especially with the injuries they're dealing with.
What about you, soothsayer?
Much as I hate to disagree with Wally Serbiak, I am going with Gonzaga. I feel like I'm going to drive the Gonzaga bandwagon again. Don't tell me about what happened last year or in the past. It doesn't matter. This is a brand-new team. They have high-level talent. Nigel Williams-Goss is playing as well as any player in America. He's a future pro. Zach Collins, the freshman center, is their 6th man. He's a future pro. And I love the dimension that Shemet Karnowski gives them. A classic back-to-the-basket 5, highly skilled. You can count on one hand the number of players like that in the country. I think Gonzaga is going to Phoenix. And then again, disagreeing with Wally, I think Villanova, again, you look at what they have. The guards take over in March. Obviously, they've done it before. Josh Hart, probably your National Player of the Year, certainly one of the top 2 or 3 candidates. Toughness, I wish they had one more big, but I think they have a pretty good chance to be able to repeat. And then I will go with Sean Miller. I'm a little concerned with Arizona's youth, and I think that's becoming a little bit more evident as of late. You know, Alonzo Trier hasn't been playing as well, so a little bit of ups and downs there, but certainly the talent is there, and Sean Miller is a terrific coach. Only a matter of time until he gets to a Final Four.
All right, but neither of you buying that Baylor would join Kansas as 2 1 seeds from the Big 12.
No, Kansas will get it. Baylor, they're not going in the right direction. They're not winning out.
The ACC is so far and away the best conference in the country. I have a hard time believing that one of those teams is not going to get to the one line.
And right now, none of them on that one line. They've been there 12 of the last 13 years, at least one team from the ACC. But we're getting you set for a Big 12 ballyhoo as the 3rd-ranked Kansas Jayhawks aim for the season sweep of the 4th-ranked Baylor Bears. Final thoughts on that and early action highlights when we come back.
At home or on the road, never miss another bucket. Download the CBS Sports app to stream college hoops on CBS every weekend.
Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Coaches vs. Cancer. Come and play for us at coachesversuscancer.org. And by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. All right, welcome you back. Let's get you caught up on a handful of games already underway. Seton Hall lost to Villanova by 30 in their first meeting, but Kadeen Carrington coming off a 41-point performance trying to rally the Pirates. They had an early lead, Seth.
The best part about those 41 points is they came in a win at home over Creighton, but Seton Hall is still one game under 500 in the Big East. That makes this game triply huge. You've got a great team in Villanova, a chance to get an important win on your home court. Villanova playing today without Darrell Reynolds, their second leading rebounder, out with a rib injury.
And Phil Booth still out, by the way. John Rothstein reports he hasn't even practiced yet. Seton Hall, Jerry Palm says, is a 9 seed right now. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, they have won 23 straight at home. Yeah, they lost at SMU, but at home, Wally, unbeatable.
Their offense has been looking much better this year. Evans with the corner three, then Kyle Washington down low, showing the inside, showing the outside. This Cincinnati team, though, is tied with SMU atop the American. They got to keep pace. There's Evans again laying it in, and then Pat Burke trying to keep Tulsa in it. This one's pretty close, but Cincinnati's starting to get a little separation. Gary Clark gets the bucket, up by 6 at the half.
Yeah, a 6-point lead. Tulsa lost 5 straight coming in. Mick Cronin going for his 300th career win in this one. All right, in the ACC, Mark Gottfried, despite being terminated, effective at the end of the year. So how would his players respond? Well, a little turnover here. Markel Johnson to the unbelievable Dennis Smith Jr. And the Wolfpack trying to cut into a Notre Dame lead, Seth, but the Irish on fire.
Yeah, from there it's been all Notre Dame. Look at how they spread you. Bonzi Colson, just an unconventional player, kind of Draymond Green-esque with his size and his skill. The nice bounce pass from Rex Pfluger to VJ Beecham. Notre Dame can put a lot of points on the board so far. That's what they've been doing.
They do. Shot 59% in the first half. A projected 6 seed right now. All right, Clemson among Jerry Palm's first 4 out. They go to Miami. A road win would help, right, Wally?
Yeah, it would. And passes like this from Miami. Whoa. Very Jason Williams, white chocolate-like right there. The pass to Ewell for the lay-in. Vasilevich knocks down the 3, and then on the other end, Marquise Reed hits the 3. These are 2 bubble teams that really need a win. Miami can't afford to lose this game at home. Mazundu with the lay-in. Tight one going to go down the stretch.
Very tight. 10 ties in the first half. Miami, this is their second game without Jaquan Newton, who has been suspended. Wichita State, they've won 9 straight, but that's only good enough to be one of Jerry Palm's first 4 out. You need to beat Northern Iowa, Seth.
Sure do, and that's exactly what they're doing. Beat them like they stole something. Landry Shamet, 2 for 3 from 3-point range in the first half for Northern Iowa. Bennett Koch with the bucket there. And, you know, Wichita State, they may pass the eye test, but their resume sure doesn't. I don't think that either Wichita State or Illinois State are going to be in much of a position to get an at-large bid. So the winner of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, probably the only representative from this league.
And they're tied with the Redbirds for first right now, who play on Sunday. Let's set the scene in Waco here as we get closer to the tip-off of Kansas and Baylor. For anyone who wasn't with us at the beginning of the show, gentlemen, you're welcome to repeat your conflicting picks.
Well, we like conflict here, and I'll take the Baylor Bears at home. Better environment, maybe a little bit better refereeing from their standpoint, and a must-win. They've lost 3 of the last 5. They're going to get it done. They're going to pound Kansas inside, Wally.
I'll take Kansas rising to the occasion like they always do. They win big games. They win close games. Nothing's going to change.
Baylor has lost 3 of their last 5, looking for a feel-good win at home against the Jayhawks. We'll see you back here at the half.